Imagine that one Monday evening, your neighbor comes over and hands you a $100 bill and says, "Here, this is for you." Your first reaction is probably, "What's the catch? What does this guy want?" So you say, "Well, what do you want me to do for this money?" And he says, "Nothing. I just want you to have it." Well, that's not bad for a Monday, and moved by his generosity, you say, "Thank you, I really appreciate this." The next Monday evening, your neighbor comes over with another $100, and he says, "Here, this is for you." You say, "Are you sure I can't do something for you in return?" He says, "No, I just want you to have this." And again, you're touched by how gracious he is, and you say, "Thank you so much, this really does help." The next Monday comes around and the same thing happens. Then the next Monday, and the next, and the next, every Monday for 6, 7, 8, 20 weeks in a row. The generous neighbor gives you $100 every Monday evening. Now, one Monday evening, the neighbor doesn't show up. And Monday turns into Tuesday, and still no neighbor. You think maybe he's on vacation, perhaps he's out of town, but you look across the way and you see him out there mowing the lawn, washing the car, doing his normal routine, but still no visit. And no $100. You think, well, maybe he just forgot. But hey, that's okay, it's only 1 week. But the next Monday comes around, and again, no visit from the neighbor and no $100. Of course, now you're really starting to miss the extra money. The next Monday comes, and again, no neighbor, no visit, no $100. That is now 3 weeks in a row, and I'll tell you what, you're going to straighten things out. So you march on over to your neighbor's house, you bang on his front door, and when he answers, you grab him by the shirt and you say, "Where's my $100? What have you just done? You've just assumed your neighbor's grace. You've taken what was given to you as an unearned, unmerited, undeserved gift, and you've assumed it, you've demanded it, you've presumed your right to have it. You've forgotten from the very first Monday the $100 was a gift. When you demand the gift, you've forgotten the meaning of grace. And what this illustrates is how much we forget God's grace to us, especially when we're not getting everything we want out of life. We start thinking that God somehow is cheating us out of what He owes us. So we pout and we sulk and we get angry with God. We presume it's our right to have the good things He's given us. But stop and think about what God really owes us. First of all, remember that we're all sinners at heart. We're rebels against an infinitely holy God. What God owes us for our rebellion and sin is nothing less than eternal death and separation from Him. If God has not already sent you straight into hell, God is exercising His grace to you. But not only has God not sent us to hell, He's given us food and shelter and life and breath itself. Even the most basic necessities of life come to us as a gift from God. Even the bare minimum is unearned and undeserved. And that is what we can call common grace, God's grace extended to believer and unbeliever alike. As Jesus pointed out in Matthew 5:45, God makes His sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and on the unjust. But for the believer in Jesus, God doesn't stop at common grace. Through the cross of Christ, God gives us an uncommon grace, an excessive, superabundant grace. It's not just the grace to give us $100 a week, but a grace that suspends all judgment against us and provides us the riches of heaven and gives us a place with God for all eternity. You see, the cure for all our pouting and sulking is to stop thinking in terms of how much God owes us and start remembering that anything we have at all comes only by His amazing grace. In Christ, God has given us grace beyond measure.